Have you ever looked down at your legs after a long day and wondered why they feel heavier than they used to? Why climbing a few stairs leaves your legs tired, or why your feet sometimes feel cold even when the room is warm? Most people believe this is simply a normal part of getting older. But what if that belief is completely wrong? What if the real problem isn't your age at all? In fact, many people over 50 are unknowingly making one simple mistake every day that slowly reduces blood flow to their legs. The frightening part is that they often don't notice it until the warning signs become impossible to ignore. Maybe you've experienced some of those signs yourself. Your legs feel stiff when you get out of bed in the morning, and you need a few moments before you can walk comfortably. Perhaps your ankles seem swollen by evening, your feet tingle while you're watching television, or your legs feel tired even though you haven't done anything physically demanding. These may seem like small inconveniences, but your body could be trying to tell you something important. You see, your heart works every second of every day, pushing blood throughout your entire body. However, getting that blood all the way down to your legs and then back up again is not always easy, especially as the years pass. The muscles in your legs play a surprisingly important role in helping circulation. Some experts even call them your second heart. Every time those muscles contract and relax, they help move blood back toward the heart. The problem is that many people become less active as they get older. They sit more, move less, and slowly, without realizing it, their circulation can begin to suffer. But here's what most people never hear. The solution doesn't require expensive equipment, hours in a gym, or exhausting workouts that leave your joints aching. In fact, some of the most effective circulation-boosting movements are also some of the simplest. Imagine being able to wake up and feel lighter on your feet. Imagine walking through the grocery store without that heavy feeling in your calves. Imagine standing up from your favorite chair and feeling steady, confident, and strong. That is exactly why today's video is so important. We're going to explore the only 5 exercises that consistently help improve leg circulation after 50. These movements are simple, gentle, and supported by what we know about how blood flow works in the aging body. And before you think, I've tried exercise before and it didn't help, stay with me. One of the exercises on this list is often overlooked, yet it may be one of the most powerful circulation boosters you can do in just a few minutes a day. But here's where the biggest mistake happens. Many people focus only on walking. Now walking is wonderful. It's one of the healthiest habits you can have. But if circulation is already slowing down, walking alone may not activate certain muscles as effectively as you think. That's why the exercises you'll learn today work together like a team. Each one targets a different part of the circulation process, helping blood move more efficiently through your legs. And the results can be surprisingly noticeable. Many older adults report that their legs feel less heavy, their feet feel warmer, and they feel more comfortable standing and moving throughout the day. Some even notice they have more confidence when walking because their legs feel stronger and more responsive. Of course, no exercise can stop aging. But aging well is very different from simply getting older. The choices you make every day can influence how your body feels tomorrow, next year, and even 10 years from now. And that's why the first exercise we're about to discuss is so surprising. Most people see it as something too simple to matter. Yet it directly activates one of the body's most important circulation pumps. Once you understand why it works, you'll never look at this movement the same way again. But before we get there, think about your own daily routine. How many hours do you spend sitting? How often do you stand up and move around? How do your legs feel right now? The answer may reveal more about your circulation than you realize. And what comes next could completely change the way you think about keeping your legs healthy after 50. The first exercise may be the simplest movement you'll hear about today, but don't let that fool you. It's the calf raise. Now, before you think that's too basic to make a difference, there's something important you need to understand. Every time you rise onto your toes, the muscles in your calves squeeze. That squeezing action helps push blood upward through the veins in your legs. In many ways, it's like giving your circulation a helping hand. This is why the calf muscles are often called the body's second heart. Think about what happens when you spend hours sitting in a chair, watching television, driving, or working at a desk. Your calf muscles remain mostly inactive. Blood can begin to move more slowly, and your legs may start feeling heavy, stiff, or tired. But a few minutes of calf raises can wake those muscles up again. Simply stand behind a chair for support. Slowly rise onto your toes, hold for a second, and gently lower yourself back down. There's no need to rush. In fact, slower is often better. Many people are surprised by how much effort their calves feel after just a few repetitions, and that's exactly the point. You're activating one of the most important circulation systems in your lower body. But here's where another common mistake appears. Many adults over 50 believe that if an exercise doesn't leave them sweating, it isn't helping. Nothing could be further from the truth. Sometimes the most effective movements are the ones that work quietly in the background. The second exercise proves that perfectly. It's something called ankle pumps. You can do it while sitting in your favorite chair, watching television, reading a book, or even talking on the phone. Simply point your toes away from you and then pull them back toward your body. Repeat the movement slowly and comfortably. At first glance, it almost seems too easy. But remember, circulation is all about movement. When your ankles move, the muscles surrounding the lower leg begin helping blood travel more efficiently. This can be especially helpful for people who spend long periods sitting during the day. Imagine someone who spends 3 or 4 hours in a recliner every afternoon. They may think they're resting their legs. In reality, their circulation may be slowing down because those muscles aren't being used. That's why small movements matter more than most people realize. And here's something interesting. Many people don't notice circulation problems while they're sitting. They notice them when they stand up. That's when the stiffness appears. That's when the heaviness shows up. That's when the legs suddenly feel older than they really are. But here's what most people never connect. The problem often started hours earlier when they stopped moving. Small movements performed consistently throughout the day can make a surprisingly large difference over time. Now let's talk about the third exercise, because this is where many people begin noticing real changes. It's walking, but not the way most people do it. You see, many adults either walk too little or try to do too much all at once. They spend most of the week inactive, and then attempt a long walk that leaves them exhausted. Their legs become sore, they lose motivation, and eventually they stop altogether. A better approach is surprisingly simple. Short, frequent walks. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, a quick walk after meals, or a gentle stroll around the block. These smaller walks repeatedly activate the muscles that help circulation without overwhelming the joints. Over time, those minutes add up. And perhaps even more importantly, they become sustainable. The best exercise isn't the one that sounds impressive. It's the one you'll actually continue doing. But here's where the biggest mistake happens. Many people wait until their legs feel uncomfortable before they move. What if you moved before the discomfort started? What if circulation became something you maintained throughout the day instead of something you tried to fix after problems appeared? That simple shift in thinking can completely change the results you experience. And in the next part, we're going to cover 2 additional exercises that many seniors have never heard of. Yet they may be among the most powerful movements for improving leg circulation, reducing stiffness, and helping your legs feel younger and stronger every single day. And one of them can even be done without leaving your home. By now, you may have noticed something interesting. None of the exercises we've discussed require exceptional strength, expensive equipment, or athletic ability. That's because improving circulation after 50 is often less about intensity and more about consistency. And that brings us to the 4th exercise. Seated leg marchers. Many people underestimate this movement because it looks simple, but simple does not mean ineffective. Sit comfortably in a sturdy chair and slowly lift one knee toward your chest, then lower it and lift the other. Continue alternating at a comfortable pace. What makes this exercise so valuable is that it encourages movement in the larger muscles of the thighs and hips. These muscles require a healthy blood supply, and activating them regularly helps keep circulation moving throughout the lower body. This can be especially useful for people who find standing exercises difficult or who are just beginning to become more active. Think about someone who spends much of the day sitting. Maybe it's because of retirement, maybe it's because of knee discomfort, or maybe it's simply become a habit over the years. The longer we remain still, the more our bodies begin adapting to stillness. Unfortunately, circulation doesn't benefit from that adaptation. Movement is the signal your body is waiting for, and even gentle movement can send that signal loud and clear. But here's where another mistake often occurs. People tend to focus only on exercise sessions. They think movement only counts if it's planned. The truth is that your circulation doesn't care whether movement happens in a gym or in your living room. It simply responds to activity. A few seated leg marchers while watching your favorite program can be surprisingly beneficial over time. And now we come to the 5th exercise. In many ways, it may be the most important of all. heel-to-toe walking. This movement helps activate multiple muscles in the lower legs, while also encouraging balance, coordination, and confidence. Slowly place one heel directly in front of the toes of the opposite foot as you walk. Move carefully and use a wall or sturdy surface nearby if needed. At first, it may feel unusual, and that's completely normal. Many people discover muscles they haven't challenged in years, and that's exactly why the exercise is so valuable. As we age, circulation and balance often influence each other more than we realize. When people feel unstable, they tend to move less. When they move less, circulation can decline. When circulation declines, their legs may feel weaker or more fatigued. It's a cycle that can quietly continue for years. But gentle exercises like heel-to-toe walking can help interrupt that cycle. They encourage movement, confidence, and blood flow all at the same time. Now, there is something equally important that most videos never mention. Exercise works best when it becomes part of a larger daily routine. For example, many people wake up and immediately sit down with coffee and breakfast, then remain seated for long periods. Imagine making one small change. Before breakfast, perform a few calf raises. After breakfast, take a short walk. During the afternoon, do ankle pumps while reading or watching television. In the evening, spend a few minutes doing seated marchers. None of these actions take very long, yet together they create repeated opportunities for circulation to stay active throughout the day. And there is another factor many people overlook: hydration. Blood contains a large amount of water, and staying adequately hydrated helps your body function more efficiently. Many older adults unintentionally drink less water because they don't feel as thirsty as they once did. But here's the surprising part. Sometimes what feels like fatigue in the legs may be made worse by not drinking enough fluids throughout the day. Then there's food. While no single food can magically fix circulation, certain eating habits can support overall vascular health. Colorful fruits, vegetables, beans, whole grains, fish and nuts provide nutrients that support the body in many different ways. Meanwhile, highly processed foods consumed in excess can work against many of the goals you're trying to achieve. But here's where the biggest mistake happens. People often look for one miracle solution, one exercise, one supplement, or one secret trick. Real improvement rarely works that way. The strongest results usually come from small actions repeated consistently. A few minutes of movement today, a few minutes tomorrow, and then again next week may not seem like much in the moment. But those small decisions can add up in ways that are difficult to see at first, yet incredibly powerful over time. And in the final part, we're going to talk about some warning signs you should never ignore. A few circulation mistakes that can secretly sabotage your progress. And a bonus tip that many healthy seniors swear by but very few people discuss. Before we finish, there's something important we need to talk about. Not every circulation problem should be ignored or explained away as just getting older. Far too many people spend months or even years assuming that certain symptoms are normal. They tell themselves they'll deal with it later and assume the issue will eventually go away on its own. Unfortunately, that's not always what happens. If you notice persistent swelling in one leg, pain that appears when walking and improves with rest, wounds that heal very slowly, or sudden changes in the color or temperature of your feet, those are signs worth discussing with a healthcare professional. The earlier problems are identified, the more options are usually available. But here's what often surprises people. The biggest threats to circulation aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they're hidden inside daily habits. Sitting for hours without standing up, crossing your legs for long periods, avoiding movement because of mild discomfort, or spending entire days indoors without meaningful physical activity can all affect circulation over time. These habits can slowly become part of life without anyone noticing. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and before long, many people begin wondering why their legs don't feel as strong, energetic, or responsive as they once did. But here's the encouraging news. The body has an incredible ability to respond when given the opportunity. Many adults in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and even beyond discover that regular movement helps them feel noticeably different within a relatively short period of time. Not because they've become younger, but because they've started giving their body what it was designed to do: move. And that brings us to a bonus tip that many active seniors swear by. Never sit for more than an hour without moving. It sounds almost too simple, yet this single habit can create dozens of circulation-boosting opportunities throughout the day. Stand up and walk across the room. Perform a few calf raises, do a few ankle pumps, or stretch your legs for a minute or two before continuing with your day. These tiny movement breaks may seem insignificant, but over the course of a week, they can add up to hundreds of extra muscle contractions that help support healthy blood flow. And here's where the biggest mistake happens. People underestimate the power of consistency. They become excited for a few days, exercise for a week, and then life gets busy. Old habits return and the progress slowly disappears. The people who experience the greatest long-term benefits aren't usually the ones doing the most difficult workouts. They're often the ones doing the simple things consistently. They're the ones who take their short walks, perform their calf raises, and keep moving even when they don't feel like it. Because every day they understand something important. Healthy legs support an independent life. They help you visit family, travel, enjoy hobbies, and remain confident and active for years to come. And perhaps that's what this conversation has really been about all along. Not just circulation, but freedom, the freedom to move comfortably, the freedom to stay active, and the freedom to continue enjoying the people and experiences that make life meaningful. So if your legs have been feeling heavy, stiff, tired, or weaker than they used to, don't assume it's simply a part of aging that you must accept. Start with one exercise, then another. Build a routine that works for you and give your body the movement it has been waiting for. You may be surprised by what a few minutes a day can accomplish over time. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend or family member who wants stronger, healthier legs after 50. Thank you for spending these minutes with us today. Take care of yourself, keep moving, and we'll see you in the next video.